sit down, please. Now, can anybody tell me why we had the day off school yesterday? Yes.
Columbus Day?
That's right. And can somebody tell me who Christopher Columbus was?
Wasn't he the guy who, founded the United States?
Correct. And in 1492...
No, it isn't. Actually, Columbus never went to the United States. He landed in the Bahamas.
Excuse me?
That's where he proceeded to be a genocidal maniac.
Thank you, Kyle, but Columbus is still a symbol of American pride.
Is he? Though, I mean, if anything, he's more of a Spanish one. Okay, we'll just start from the beginning here. When Columbus first arrived in the so-called New World, he was friends with the natives, and he traded with them, and he was perfectly peaceful to them. And then Columbus realized that he could get something out of it. So he went back to Spain, and he told the king of Spain that there was all kinds of gold, and that there was these savages and cannibals that were there, and that Columbus had bravely fought them off. And Spain was like, well, Columbus, why don't you go get us some gold and slaves and come back? Here's some more money to go back to the New World. Columbus got back, and he just allowed his men to raid the villages, to rape the women, to murder everyone there, and destroy all of what these people had built over thousands of years. Just destroyed the entire goddamn thing. And by the time Columbus's men had realized what he did, they put him in handcuffs and sent him back to Spain, which is probably the most sane thing they could do. But you want to know what Spain did? Once he got there, they pardoned him, gave him a slap on the wrist by removing one of his titles, and then gave him more money to go back and do the exact same thing he did before. Let's recap, shall we? A powerful entity destroys the lives of thousands of people, and then when everything goes to absolute shit, is given more money to go back and do the exact same thing he did before. That doesn't really sound like a 1492 issue to me. It sounds like more of a 2008 one. And it sounds pretty goddamn American.
So, are we just going to sit here, or are you going to talk to me about what happened today?
Does it even really matter?
Yes, it does. You need to show more respect to your teachers, young man. Otherwise, there are going to be serious consequences.
Excuse me, Mr. Bronson. I don't want to interrupt anything, but I'm going to need my anchor.
Well, excuse me, Miss Harris, but Kyle and I are having a very intense and private conversation.
You have them twice a week.
Yes, that's kind of the point of this conversation. So if you could do me a favor and wait outside, you can talk to Miss Wright about tickets for the prom for you and Kyle.
Okay. A, you can't just assume that since Kyle and I are friends that we're romantically involved. And B, I need him to help me on the interview that we're doing after school that you asked us to do, so you could talk about your budget proposals.
Fine. I'll take him.
Thank you. This is the 5th time I've had to bail you out this semester.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Don't do that.
What?
Patronize me. Now take this.
What is it?
It's a copy of the budget cut for next year. It's for Bronson's thing. Okay, we're live in 3, 2, 1, and...
Hello, Indians. Welcome to Flagstaff News. I'm your host, Kyle Tomlin. Today we have a story about tater tots and french fries. John Jacobson has the story in the cafeteria.
And we're out.
Did you read this? He's cutting teacher salaries by 30%.
Yeah, I know.
And you didn't tell me.
Yeah, because I knew you would react like this, and rage is not the appropriate way to deal with the situation.
Oh, it's not.
If you went in there yelling and screaming, Bronson would have time to come up with some kind of justification for this. You wouldn't be prepared at all.
What are you supposed to do then?
Well, we have the upper hand right now. Bronson still thinks that we're on his side, so during the interview, we surprise him.
I don't know about that.
Well, you better decide soon, because we're back in 12, and if you don't, I'm cutting to a piece about the Kardashians.
You wouldn't.
9, 8, 7, 6...
No.
5, 4, 3...
Fine, we'll do your thing.
And?
Wasn't that fascinating? Next up, we have a very interesting story about cats who water ski. Very fun. Good evening, Indians. I'm your host, Kyle Tomlin. I'm here with Jack Bronson, our principal and school board candidate. Mr. Bronson, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Kyle. Let me just say it's an honor to be here with you today. You guys do amazing work.
Thank you. I want to talk about this new budget that you've proposed. Now, how long would you say goes into making something like this?
Well, to be honest with you, Kyle, there's a lot of time and effort that goes into creating a budget and making that budget work for us. But I want everybody to know that my number one concern has always been and will be the students of our district.
And that's a good place to put it. Now, would you say there's anything different about this budget from different years?
Actually, yes. I'm very excited to announce that we've gotten some extra grant money, and we are going to put that towards building a new field for our football team, because those guys need something a little bit better than just basically walking around on an empty field. Am I right?
Would you care to explain the $300,000 cut in teacher salaries, then?
Well, this money has to come from someplace.
How about the complete disappearance of money for theater productions?
Well,
I mean, from the looks of it, it seems like a bunch of the funding has just disappeared.
look, I do appreciate how much you care about this and how much you care about your school, but, it's hard for me to go into all the decisions that go into making these cuts.
Well, let's try and help me then. I have a similar budget, also made by you, from 1993, and there are some really interesting similarities.
Well, yes, that's how we were able to build our state-of-the-art theater.
A theater that ended up costing 2/3 of what it was projected to.
Well, we work very efficiently.
What happens with all that money?
Well, that money is then given back to the district.
And what do they do with it?
They distribute it as they see fit.
Maybe in the form of bonuses for the district and their buddies? I guess my big problem here is, what are you going to do with all that extra money laying around after you get your big bonus when this football stadium costs 2/3 of what it's projected to cost? I hear the Bahamas are nice this time of year.
Okay, well, that's...
What are you going to tell the students?
The students will understand.
Now, I'm not talking about a handful of jocks with rich parents who will be excited about a new stadium. I'm talking about all the students, Mr. Bronson. I'm talking about the student who only lives through this hellhole that is this school because they get excited to rehearse when sixth period comes along. I'm talking about the student that only lives through an abusive life because of their shitty production of The Sound of Music. How about them, Bronson?
Okay, this is over.
I'd like an answer to the question.
No, I think we're done. Thank you. Give me the SD card.
Don't give it to him.
Thank you.
God damn it! What are you so happy about?
He has the empty card from Sloppy. The footage is right here.
And that was it. We aired the footage Wednesday, and Bronson was let go by Friday to avoid a scandal. We actually changed something with the news, and now you're gonna tell me what mug I can or cannot use on the air.
I don't want the new administration on my case the first week back. You're not using the mug.
Oh, I'm using the mug.
Fine, use the mug. I don't have time for this. And we're live in 3, 2, 1, and